Okay, I guess we can get started. When they come in, they'll come in. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that came out. Their busy schedules to come to the town hall meeting. As you know, the rules of the town hall meeting are we do not personalize anyone. We can have constructive criticism, but we're not going to go back and forth with accusations or be I won't say unruly, because people have spirit, they're spirited, but we're not going to sit here and bash people. Whoever it may be that you don't feel something about, if you have a comment about the village or whatever, that's fine. But personal comments and personal attacks will not be allowed. And that's always been the way that I've conducted the town hall meetings. I want to, today I'm going to, I have a surprise, and I'm going to do that. But first of all, what I want to do, I want everyone here to, because last month we waited until the end, and their questions came at the very end, and we thought everyone was going to leave, and we had questions for another hour after that. So if you feel that you have some questions, after we get through with this brief presentation, let me, formulate them, think about them, and anything goes. If you have questions about anything in the village, I won't say anything goes. If you have questions about anything in the village, if I can answer them, fine. If I cannot answer, I will get answers for you and get back to you individually or at the next meeting. There was a person that had a question about the airstrippers. I think we talked about that. So if you feel that there is no time limit on your questions, for one thing, let me understand that. But I'm going to try to get everybody once. In other words, when you ask a question, give another person to ask a question time. I'm not going to just stay on one person for 15, 20 minutes, because if you're like me, after 5 minutes you may forget what you get ready to ask. So therefore, I'll give everyone a chance. So right now, for the next 15 minutes, we will take questions. I will take questions about anything. Yesterday at the board meeting, I just wanted to bring that up, that we did discuss the public comment, so we're going to wait and see if that ordinance is going to be written, and it was brought up, we did discuss it, so that was one of the things that people have asked about, so that is, the ball is rolling on that. So therefore, that's something that we're going to look at. We're going to have the lawyers and also our ordinance review committee to write a new ordinance that we can hope it will be conducive to everyone. So right now, as I said before, I'm still waiting, but I want to take questions so we can get things started so we won't be here all night. I also, like I said, I'm going to give the person the mic, and when you get through with it, would you please hand it to the next person that wants to ask a question. Who's first? Don't do like last week, last month. Wait till the last minute.
I haven't been at enough meetings or kept myself informed, so this is a something other people may have questions about. The pipeline that they're putting in by the railroad, is that what they're doing? Flattening out there by the railroad? Is that where the pipeline's going?
Yeah, that pipeline really is coming all the way from Sauk. I think it's no, Pontiac. It's coming all the way there, through Creek, through us, going all the way to Griffith, Indiana.
Right, and it's going to come from Griffith back out that way?
Well, I mean, yes, it's two pipelines, so I guess one would be supplied, one would be returned. But I do know that there are two pipelines that are going from there, come all the way.
Okay, and the other part of that is, we got X amount of dollars to have that put in by the pipeline company or Exxon or whoever it is.
It's Enbridge, but what do you mean we got X amount of dollars?
Did we get money, did the village receive money as compensation for them running it along our...
The land, well, it's not our land, it's in our control, it's under Sauk Village's, ruling, but that land had to be brought by Enbridge, or they had to pay someone if they were going on private land. At one time, they were going to go through people's backyards and stuff, they were going to compensate them for that, but then I guess the paperwork and everything was too long. So if you notice, they're following along ComEd. Even though that's in our borders, they're following along where ComEd is located and the railroad tracks. So they probably made an agreement with ComEd and also with CN Railroad, because they had to acquire all of that to make that happen. Okay. Now, sometimes they help us, like they did before, on certain things. They give back to the village under certain, I will say grants, but for lack of a better word. And last time they helped and gave us money for Parks and Recs. There was something that they did with the streets. They helped with that when they were going up and down the streets. Has anything like that happened right now? Not that I know of, but I'm pretty sure once they get towards the end, something like that will happen.
Okay, but there's nothing in writing that we get a certain dollar amount?
There's no agreement that we're going to get X amount of money from them. It's their goodwill gesture.
Thank you.
It's their goodwill gesture, and they will do something. Just a matter of, basically it matters what we as a village or come to them and say, okay, can you help us with this or help us with that? And that's a good question, because I didn't think about that. That's something to look for in the future to find out what it is that because they're going to do something.
Okay. Cutting trees down that are dead, maybe?
Oh, you mean the trees? I don't know what it'll be. We do have a lot of trees, though, that need to be cut down. There's a lot of trees in the village. That's something to think about. That's one thing. Other things are, along the railroad. Right now, we're looking at a way to get a loop. That means we have to run pipe. So maybe that's something that can be looked into. Since they're actually digging, they have all the equipment to dig. They're right there. It's like they're not too far away. We could probably ask them to do something like that, but that's a good question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Larry Stewart. Last night at the City Hall meeting that ran quite well, I would say. I had to ask the question because, and I didn't quite get an answer. I guess I have to wait till the next City Hall meeting. On water bills, people are complaining about these high water bills, but that's not the problem I'm having with the water bill. I'm looking at this town hall meeting to where it's a word of mouth thing. And if you don't know, you're not here. But I noticed on the water bill is a meet the mayor. issue. And I didn't know if that was appropriate because there's no town hall meeting on the water bill. There's no committee meetings on the water bill, no senior meetings on the water bill. And I'm just wondering, is that legal? And this time I'm asking for an answer.
Okay, now as far as the legality, I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you if it's legal or not. It is a good question. That's something that maybe you should ask the mayor himself, since it was Meet the Mayor. I can't answer that one. Now that's one question I have to tell. I cannot answer. I did see it on my water bill. I'm sure everyone else did. That is on there. So, you know, only thing I can tell you is ask the mayor. I mean, next time you see him, ask him. Next time you have a meeting, ask him. Because I don't think it's illegal, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
But could you advertise a town hall meeting?
I never thought about doing that. I get it out word of mouth, but, you know, I'm not going to, because it costs to print those cards. Okay. Anyone next? I'll take one more. No? Okay, now wait a minute. Do not wait till 8 o'clock. We get ready to say goodbye, and everybody has questions. Yes, ma'am. They can't hear you, though. People in the back, you guys want to come sit up, sit down, sit down?
I have 2 vacant homes. Yesterday was the fall sack on 219. The one open door is open. And I've been constantly going to the police about it. I need to know who can I contact about the board.
You said it's vacant.
Vacant, 2 of them, and it's been over a year or more.
Okay. What, did you by any chance have the address?
1924 and 21939 South Flagport.
Okay, 1924 what?
South Flagport, Close Avenue. Clyde, C-L-Y-D-E, Port.
Oh, okay, Port, okay.
And 21939
What?
South Flagport. They're right next, I live in cul-de-sac.
Oh,
They're
okay.
the only 2 empty on there.
And they've been vacant for how long?
Oh, at least 2 years.
Okay, and you said that it's opened up?
One of the doors has been open for a year, I know, and I've told the police department, and they said they're gonna check on it. And when I come back, it's still open. It's open now.
Okay. Anything else?
I need a number before I can call the other job. Got it?
Do you have a village number?
Yes, the regular number, yes.
Okay, that's who you would call Village Hall, and you would tell, you know, you can ask to speak to someone in code, or you can just leave your message with the person that's going to answer the phone. But I'm going to check these out personally to find out, since you did come in at the addresses and things.
Thank you.
Okay?
You can ride around there if you want to.
I'm going to ride around, but I'm still going to pass that on. Thank you. Okay, now, I know everyone has been, it's not a secret anymore. At least I thought it would be, but I guess they had to pull them up here. But anyway, I just, again, I'd like to thank everyone that came out for the surprise, and I'd like to thank everyone that came out to be part of the surprise that we were going to do tonight. And just want to say tonight we're honoring a man for his dedication and service to the people of Sauk Village. Over the past 4 decades, over the last 6 mayors, this man has endured many changes and challenges. And today is my honor to honor Chief Al Starfraker for his dedication. It was hard getting, I didn't have to tell you, it was hard getting him out. I did have to lie to him, I'm sorry, but I did have to, because it was hard getting him out. But Chief Starfraker has been with the Sauk Village Fire Department starting in 1969. I wasn't born then. Al worked his way up. up through the ranks and has been the chief for the last 5 years. He even served a brief time as chief of police and fire. Besides serving on the fire department, Al worked full-time job at the Ford plant in Chicago Heights, where he's worked for 40 years before retiring. 40 years before he retired. Wow, in one place. Al has always participated in Sauk Village events and has always been a true friend. We look forward to many more years of service. Don't look at me like that. But today we honor Al with this plaque for his 45 years of service. Mr. Staff Reagan, Chief, would you please come up? I'm going to read the inscription on the plaque. It says, in recognition of your 45 years of dedicated and exemplary service to the Sauk Village Fire Department and the citizens of Sauk Village. Chief Al Sharper. His family is here. Are you his daughter? Well, okay. Oh, you're the one that they had to appease to get him here, because he said he's not going to do nothing without you. In other words, he was going to make sure, he didn't even know about this. I was just trying to get him to come up here. So he had to find out from you before he could do anything. So you must be special. There's your fire department back there. Denny is the one that helped coordinate this, so you can blame. So I'm so glad that you were able to be here to accept that. You can put this so you don't scratch it up. I'm not going to get you on the mic. I know that you feel. Arlene? Okay.
I know I always have to be one of the greatest pleasures I've had in these couple of years with the department was the fellowship of all the departments working together. Without working together, we've got nothing. 46 years on the department, a lot of ups and lots of downs. The one thing I learned, and that was from Chief Hawkins, don't take your problems on. And I tried to do that best I could. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. But I don't regret a day not working with these gentlemen and the town.
At this time, can I get Deputy Chief Myers to come up and Captain Silver to come take a picture with this honoree? And then, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, that's my remiss. And the rest of the fire department, please come up. Come on, you guys. You took your time out to do this. At least you can take a picture with Chief. You can put your plaque in the middle there. You can take a picture with it. Do you want it in front or right? Yeah, right here. All right, everybody get in there.
Is that how that worked out?
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys are welcome to stay for the rest of the town hall meeting, but I know you probably, one call, so I can understand that. Now, we can get back to the town hall. Who has the microphone? Okay. Who has a question? Who's next asking the question? Okay, guys. 7:25. I'll stop at 8. Quick. If you don't have any more questions, I'm like, oh, but okay. See, I knew it would start.
That's okay, I got a big mouth. I brought it up to you out in the hall, and you said I should mention it in here. Walking around town, there's an awful lot of streets that don't have street signs. A lot of corners, I know where I'm at, so I know what street it is. But there's an awful lot of them that do not have signs up. I was wondering who is supposed to be responsible for replacing those if they are taken down?
Okay, I will address this straight to Kevin. I happen to be on the Public Works Committee, so I will talk to him tomorrow about that. He'll have to put a detail or somebody out there to find out because they don't know which streets they are, so they have to ride around. But at least I'll bring it to his attention that there are a lot of streets that don't have signs on them. He probably already knows that, but just since you brought it up, I will bring it up to him. Okay? Anyone? Yep. Could you guys please? There you go.
I don't need that.
Everybody says they don't. As soon as you don't use it, somebody's gonna say, I can't hear you.
I was just wondering, what about all the street corners that don't have street lights? Especially down my street and the street after that, I live on Paxton Avenue.
That was brought up amazingly yesterday. Someone brought that up yesterday, that there's some streets that are not lit. There is a detail doing that. I can assure you there's someone from Public Works, because that's one of their mandates, that and the fire hydrants. Because the lights are part of safety. So I'm sure your street is on the list. However, if I get the address, I'll write it down and then I can convey it to Kevin and find out what's on the list.
Okay, my address?
Mm-hmm. We got the address in the
221st and Paxton.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, anyone else? I knew it was going to happen.
Last I heard on that 221st and Paxton.
I bet you did, bro. Okay.
It's in my backyard.
Okay.
Talk with Kevin as a combination.
Okay. See, that was great. Yes, sir.
As they're addressing the street lights that are out or not working, are they actually replacing them with the
Yes.
newer LED lighting? Which is
Yes.
supposed to be good?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's going to be done. Right now, they're addressing no lights, and they're replacing no lights with the new lights, and then they're going to replace what's left with the new lights.
This is, if I recall, that the village got a grant
Yes.
for the newer LED lighting.
Yes.
It's supposed to be energy efficient.
Yes,
Not
they are.
break down as much.
Yeah, it is supposed to be energy efficient. You're absolutely right. Okay. No one? Right here, right up front here. Yes, you do.
I just want to ask a question about the Sauk Plaza. I was at Fairway, it's supposed to be Fairway, but it's Fair A, because the W is out. And the lighting is very, very dim. Coming out to the store at 8 o'clock at night, I didn't feel safe at all. And how are you going to patronize the businesses if you have no lights? Where are you going? So I came out of there with my purse closed very tightly and got to the car. But the lights are on, so all the lights are there. It's just that they're so dim you can't see. It's like candlelight. So, and the only other business that's open and has lights on is Sharks. So their car parked, but it's very dark. So I don't know what we can do as a village to get that lit up for safety reasons.
Okay, the owner of that facade that's over there has been told several times about the dimness and about how the lights out of there are not conducive, they're not bright enough. You're not the only one. The businesses have complained. We're gonna have to do something as a village to contact that owner, let them know they need to do something. I'm not going to sit here and speculate what is going to happen, but it will be addressed because it is dim, and winter's coming, which means that it's going to get dark at 5 o'clock. So right now it's light, but when winter comes at 5 o'clock, you got those businesses that are there, and people can hide behind the little pillars or whatever. So that's something that needs to be addressed, and we'll just bring it back to them again, and we will. There's no problem. We will bring it back up.
What's my time limit on that?
On what part? Talking or lights?
Talking to,
Talking, your time limit will be this week.
I'll check on this.
The light part, they have been like that since before Advance Auto, I'll just tell you that way. They've been like that since before Advance Auto got there, so we've been, but it will be addressed.
Thank you.
Next. Okay. I knew y'all wake up. You got your hand up, sir? No. Oh, you did? Oh, just resting now. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay.
Old business, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I think it was about 2 years ago, there was something passed about a company that had offered to get to get things put on the antennas in the village. They would research, and we would pay them, and they would research to get better phone service. Do you remember that?
No, I do remember where they wanted to put a tower here so they can do things for the cell phone. But for the cell phones, in other words, the company, but they would pay us to put their tower, attach what they need to attach to enhance their service. But I don't remember anything that, how can they, I mean, that would be private. That would be like Verizon, T-Mobile, or Sprint. We have towers here that they utilize, but that's just so you can get a signal. I mean, I don't think anybody promised that you're going to get better reception.
Okay.
But no, what you're talking about, yeah, we had a cell tower agreement. Yes, we did, and money went into that. It came from the ones that were renting from us, and we still rent from, and they still rent our cell towers. Who's next? Okay, I'll bite.
I don't have a question as much as it is a statement. I've known Al Stoffregan since I was a kid. And I wanted to share this with you. One of my mentors when I was on the board, when I first started, was Chief Leroy Hawkins. And when it came time for the appointment of one of the first deputy chief positions, he was really torn because he wanted Al, Travis, and there were, Zeke. I mean, there were a lot of good guys on the department. And he was really torn with that. And one of the comments that he made is that, Al, he's a hothead. But you'd never know that now. You really would never know that now, because he's quite the gentle man.
I'm not going to say that, but I see a lot of people laughing.
And I just want to say that I know Leroy's up there looking down, going, "Oh my God, look at my department, and look who's running it." And I know he's very proud of him right now. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. That's very well taken, man. You don't have to look at me like that. Because you haven't heard what I had to say. I'm going to say that to the end. So does anyone else have any other statements, any other comments, questions? Yes, sir.
Progress being made with the 911 center.
I mean, as far as the dispatch center, right now we still have Kurtz here. They're still doing the dispatching on our equipment out of our department because they're still waiting for licenses and things coming to CalCom. And when I know, you'll know. We're still waiting. Once they get that, that's on CalCom now. That's not on us. We're up and running. It's on them. So once they get everything they have to get in place and they make that move, that's fine. Right now, we're still up and running. We still have dispatch service here in the village. We thought the timetable would be at the first of the month. Obviously, that's not working out. So we're just waiting to see. Like I said, once we find out, we're gonna, definitely you'll know. But right now, it's on their end. It's on CalCom's end, Calumet Park. Well, so that we have to wait till they get everything, because FCC has to make sure that everything is in place before they switch over. So that's what we're waiting on right now. That's rumors that, I haven't seen anything. I mean, well, right now FCC has to give them a license. What's holding that up? I don't know. But that's what has to be done first. And once they get everything that they need, then they can move forward. They can't move forward. They can't take over. They can't do anything until they get those things taken care of. But in the meantime, we have dispatch service here, and it's being done by Kurtz.
They renting space? Could they be?
We're paying them. I mean, but are they renting the space? I haven't seen anything, but I do know we're paying them as of our last statement. We're paying them because they're providing the service for us. Are they renting that space? I haven't seen any paper to see that. They could be. Like I said, I haven't seen anything that says that they're paying rent here. So, well, we're paying them because they're providing us. Their people are working for us. Kurtz employees are working here to do our dispatch. So yes, we have to pay them.
Refresh my memory. What happened to our dispatchers? And don't be upset because I asked the question.
What do you mean, what happened?
We had dispatchers. Whatever happened to them? And then we have this situation with the ICC. And it doesn't seem to where it's very transparent. Make it clear.
Okay, what happened to our dispatchers, we didn't honor their contract May 1st. Their contract was up April 30th. So May 1st, it was voted that they weren't going to honor their contract. So quite naturally, you have no contract, you have no dispatchers. That was very easy. I mean, it was supposed to be a cost-saving initiative. Yet to be seen, we'll see it, maybe down the road. But that's what happened. They didn't honor their contract. So they're not going to work without a contract.
The word cost saving.
That's what.
Where does it fit with we're paying?
Well, like I said before, we'll see. You can't, it's still out. We're still paying, but you're not going to see a cost savings right away. I don't care what no one says. You're not going to see a cost savings right away because you still have things that unforeseen costs that you have. Maybe down the way, maybe down the road, we look at numbers, how much we paid last year versus how much we paid this year. That's probably when you actually see it. But right now, things are about the same. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So when the transition happens, because you don't talk to me, when the transition happens with Kurt, do they go to Cal Park? Is that where they're going, to Cal Park? So the dispatchers are going to Cal Park. So if I, as a citizen, have a problem and I want to go knock on my local police department's door, can I do that? Is somebody there?
Okay.
Lights on?
I think it's after the time. I think it's after 6 or 7 o'clock. There'll be 24/7. There'll be a call box.
A what?
A call box outside.
Is that human?
Pardon me?
Is that a human? A
No, call box. That's not a human, no, it's a call box. It's a call box. You press a button and someone will answer and let you in. If you have to get in on their answer and take your question. Right there at as you come into the police department.
I can't just open the door and go in.
No, the door will be locked at that time of night. During the day, yes, it's open because you got your administrators in there.
So
But at night, at 12 o'clock at night
if
versus.
I'm running for my life, and I see my police department says Sauk Village Police Department, and I'm running for my life, I get there to the door, and it's locked to a citizen? Is that what you're telling me once the dispatcher?
The door will be locked.
Okay. You didn't explain that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be locked at off hours. Like I said, at night, yes, it will. During the day, yes, you have your police officers that are there. Because the dispatchers won't be there once they move. There won't be anyone there. They'll have to call an officer there when you press that button and tell them whatever. They may, I think, where I understand it from the deputy chief of police, they will let you in, that they will buzz you into the ante room, and the door's supposed to lock behind you. Then you're going to have another call box and let them know what it is that you know what you need. You need an officer there or whatever. But if you're in an emergency, you press the button, it'll buzz you right in, you close the door behind you. However, some of the things I'm looking at, and I'm not going to go over them all because I may be giving out wrong information, but if someone is following me and I press that button and I get in, what's stopping them from pressing that same button and getting in? So I have to research that and find out much more because that doesn't sound right. Okay, you let me in because I'm panicking. And the person standing out there. Plus that glass, it's a glass facade right there, and I'm sure that doesn't stop a bullet because it hasn't been changed. So there's a lot of wrinkles that need to be ironed out. So.
Should I run to the fire department? It's going to be there, right?
No. No. You're being chased. That's right. That is a long run. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Okay, people, I'm just 20 minutes to. I will, 8 o'clock. Okay. Yes.
I want you to brought up something that if you're in danger or if you're a parent who doesn't want their infant, can they go to the police station and just leave that infant outside? Do they bring the infant to the fire station? What if they don't know where that's at? Just a thought.
Now, I understand what you, but would they do that at night?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Whatever is it a safe haven?
but the fire department, I think, is staffed. I would think, like you said, they're not going to call someone, because you can always call 911 and say that, but then you may not want that. You may not want that publicity if you leave with a child.
Right. That's how I know that.
That does. But even right.
As you said that, it just brought up something that every agency has.
Yeah, that is a viable point. I mean, if no one is there, that's a viable point. How do they, besides you calling 911, how would they leave that child there? I don't think a person that's leaving the child would want to call 911 and say, I'm going to leave this child there, you know. But then again, if you leave a child, don't you still have to be there? You're not going to just drop them off and walk away. I don't hope not. I'm hoping. Yes, sir.
That's the same happen, 8, from 6 to 1, 8.
Okay. Okay, that's at the fire station. Right. So you're right. I don't know, you know, because that's a tough question. What do they do? You know. Ooh, yes, sir.
With our dispatch being outsourced and most of the administrative functions being taken away, without having a records clerk, without having dispatchers to do reports, pull paper, pull criminal abstracts for the police. Does that mean our officers will be off the street more, taking care of administrative functions that records clerks and dispatchers used to take care of for the officers?
My understanding as of yesterday, we have one person here that's a part-time records clerk. I understand now they're hiring another person to be a part-time records clerk. I don't know the hours yet, but I do know that those two, there's going to be two people that are going to be part-time records clerk in the village. And it makes sense because if we don't have anybody there to take care of it, the dispatch is gone, where do we get that from? Or how do they get we would have to take an officer off the street. But now I understand that we have two people that are going to be, we have one right now that's in training. And we're going to have another one, I think they're hired, I'm not sure. The way I understand it, they work. So I don't know who that person's name, who that person is, but those two things are going to, that's hopefully, but you're right, it's part-time. Hopefully we can get the work done in that period of time.
And you see, it's come up in the news just recently where you have people that are in a holding cell. Who's going to monitor those people that are in our holding cells?
See, those questions, those are good questions. Those are questions that we did ask. What happens? I think we haven't, now, for right now, what I've heard, the last that I've heard is the police officer that did the arrest would have to come off the street and monitor that person. And then if we need me, they may have to call someone else overtime. That's the last I've heard. But I'll bring that question up to make sure, because I hate to quote something that may not be true, so I'll bring that up when we have our meeting. But that's what I've heard, that they would have to, because I asked that question, can we use a monitoring? And I understand that we cannot use a camera at night and to just monitor a person. I think, no, I have a question over here. Let me ask.
Just for clarification, the purpose of the call box is that if you do go to the police station and you ring the button for the call box, you will be immediately answered by the 911 dispatch, who will, if there's a police officer on site, will immediately come to the door in case of emergency. And if there's not a police officer on site, they will be dispatched from the street to come to the police department immediately. That's the purpose of the call box, to get you buzzed into safe haven. If you have a baby, or if you're in the middle of a situation where you need to have some emergency assistance, the purpose of the call box, which is already installed, ring the buzzer, you'll be answered by the 911 system. The 911 system will ask, what's your emergency? At that point, they'll buzz you in so you're safe. The door will lock behind you, you will be in a safe area. And then a police officer, if they're not on site, will be dispatched to the dispatch center immediately. So you will be taken care of as soon as possible. So I just wanted to clear that up. I don't want people to think that just because the doors are locked, that you're not being serviced. That's the purpose of the call box. After hours, there may or may not be a live person there, but they will be dispatched there immediately. Just for clarification, thank you.
Okay. No. Reason why, another question that was asked, which is a good question, which I will follow up with, is what happens when a person comes behind you. That's nice that you get to lock it. There's no camera there now. They're going to put a camera there. There's a camera on the inside, but not outside. Hopefully that they'll put one outside so they can see what's going on. Because
what happens if our 2 or 3 officers that are on the street are already busy in another call?
That scenario has been asked, and I've asked that scenario, and like I stated before, there'll be someone that'll have to either come out, or we do have other officers or other municipalities that will help us at time of, emergency time. I'll put it that way. Who has the mic? Okay, yes, ma'am.
No, I just wanted to know, you said we may have to bring in a policeman and pay him overtime.
Yes.
Where are we saving money then?
Well, that's, like I said before, it's not that you're gonna be doing it all the time, but if your police force is, you know, if you have to have so many on staff at any given time. The police is just sitting there watching a prisoner and we understaffed, someone has to come in.
Who comes up with all these for the union rules, wouldn't the officer be entitled to a minimum of, say, 4 hours overtime? Even
That
though
part I have to research. I don't know how many, but there is a minimum. I think it's 2 though, but there is a minimum. Y'all need it. That's my fault. Oh, did you want to say something first? Okay.
Taxes, thank you. Thank you, Williams, for that details. The other question I had is, will citizens receive a FAQ packet so that they can have their frequently asked questions and distributed out to the citizens so they know what to do with the new dispatch center once it's installed? All these questions that these people are asking, we have 10,000 others that are not here, and they need to know how to operate under an emergency.
That's something that we push for, and the trustees know that we push once things get finalized. Right now, they're not finalized. We still are in the stage of getting all the things well, put your ducks in a row. Once we do that, then we can come up and, in other words, because if we say this time and then they find out that it's going to change, now you're going to go back. Now you got to say, well, you said it was this, now you're saying it's that. So once we get everything finalized, because I was hoping, and I asked that question of the mayor, they were talking about flicking the switch August 4th. That's fine. But there's no information out there to people other than I call 911 at night. That's something that needs to be put in writing to let, or explained by someone, have a town meeting or whatever, to explain to them what it is that we have now, what we have in place, and what you need to do if you're going to call for what most scenario. That's something that should be, you know, put there. And I'm sure once that is in place, it'll be put out on Sauk Talk or whatever, but it still needs to have somebody here to explain to the people exactly what it is we have in place, what are our limitations, and what do you do in case of most emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. But we know we have a transient population, so it turns over like every 3 months. So even if you had a town hall meeting and explained everything.
That's why I said we're going to put it in writing. That's why we're going to put it in writing and it'll go in Sauk Talk.
That we can volunteer for.
Once we get that done, I'm hoping that we can come up between the, your elected officials and have it put in paper, put in writing, and we can do that. Doesn't have to be a committee. It's just a matter of us coming up with it. Well, we have to work with the police department also, and the fire department. And you probably public safety. Yes.
As of this last month and a half, we've had issues in the senior building. It's been said I'm a disruption. I quit. It's been said that there were seven of us that sat on that senior over committee. 5 of us quit. How it's been portrayed and put out there is a lot of different ways. But that left 2, 3 people. Now they had an opening. Supposedly it should have been for 5 people. They were very selective. In a closed session meeting, they picked people. In a closed session meeting, they picked people. It was said that they needed a letter. It was more of an application. And they picked who they wanted. Now, this left a lot of things upside down in the senior issue. I'm very upset about how that went. I care less on how it goes forward. They have a sergeant of arms. That's what it was addressed as. Their meetings are written, not recorded, so it's going to be to where some things are in there, some are not. These things are out of order. They grandfathered some committees in, and new ones are at a discretion of that board now, to whether they pay or not, whether they're on that committee or not. This should be looked at by our City Hall administration, because something is terribly wrong with the appointee of the mayor as an over committee person, to where I think it should be looked at very closely and check things out on people. Last night it was mentioned, 2 trustees came to the meeting on Friday. Last night was the first time I heard in detail how bad it was that Friday. They didn't come on Thursday, to where it seemed very partisan. So Friday didn't surprise me at what you heard, because you were one of the people that came Friday. I hope that the rest of the board gets to understand what this is, what's going on, because I'll never go in that senior building as long as it's being conducted with the people that are there. And that's fair to me. Now, whether the rest of the citizens get involved in that senior building, that's up to that board, because they turn away people like it's nothing. They think that they're doing the right thing by their way. Instead, it should be the people's way that put them there, as we put trustees on that board, as we put a mayor on that board. It should be our decision, our direction. It shouldn't be up to the people to look at it, but forget you. We run this. And that's what happened Thursday, Friday, and it will happen again next Tuesday in this very room here. That's it.
Okay, let me start off by telling you, you were at the board meeting last night.
Yes.
Okay. I did mention it in comments and questions, questions and comments from the trustees, that the mayor should get involved with the seniors. That's all we can do, is ask him to get involved, let him look at, see what's going on, and let him make his own, decision. As far as the trustees, I just came to observe it. As I stated before yesterday, I came to play cards. I play cards on Friday. That's what that was about. I'm not there to tell someone they're right or wrong, or try to referee any outburst. I mean, if you have outbursts, then okay, that's what happens. But the best way to do it is to have a third party come in and look at what's going on. Preferably your mayor, or if he designates one of your elected officials to come do that, fine. We did it before when Mayor Towers was the mayor, and myself and at the time was Trustee Hanks came and listened to what they had to say. So to get involved in that, I appreciate what you brought up tonight, but I did ask, and I will ask the mayor to get involved in that, because what I saw was conduct unbecoming of grown people. Because there was a lot of going back and forth, and it shouldn't have been that way. I understand, Larry, I understand that you have a passion. Everyone has a passion for what they do. They wouldn't be here. But you need cooler heads to prevail, to look at it from the outside and bring it back. Now, as far as you made the statement, they pick who they want. You said that, but how do you get a person to agree with that? I mean, that's your opinion. So that's one thing. Now, your last statement, when you stated that you're never going to the senior center again, why? I mean,
It's very
but, okay, but I'm just saying, why would you not want to go there until things have changed, but to just say, I quit? That's basically what you say. I don't want to be bothered with it anymore, and then walk away. Then why are we having this conversation going back and
6
forth?
years I was on that senior committee. It ran good. We started 2 years ago an independent organization that's being overrun by individuals on a committee that was brought into play not 5 days ago.
Okay, but like I said before, we're gonna look, I'm gonna ask the mayor to get involved in
He
that.
is involved.
Okay, well, all you can do is get the mayor involved. If you feel that it's not being done that way, or people that are there, then you can come to the board. But we're not gonna supersede, we're not gonna go over or whatever past a person's, we wanna try to keep this professional. We're gonna try to keep it professional. You know, so that's the only thing I can tell you. But that's what we're going to try to do. And I'm sure that when the mayor gets involved, if you're not satisfied, then you can always have the chance to come up to the board, and then the board can can intervene. For us to intervene right now, no. I'm hoping that, and that's why I brought it up and I stated it for the record that I would like to see the mayor get involved. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You brought up that there was a new part-time clerk hired for the police department, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I was on the village's website prior to this pretty much every day. I didn't see any job posted. And I'm curious to know, what are the village's procedures as far as hiring people? It seems like here they are, and no one has an opportunity to apply for that position. It's just, if you know someone, it's all good. And it doesn't seem right when people's tax dollars are being spent and they don't have an opportunity to apply for a job, or their family member who lives in town doesn't have that opportunity as well.
Okay, now that you brought it up, I will find out if the job was posted. I didn't go online or go anywhere to look and see, but I'll find out was the job posted. That I will do.
Any progress been made with new police chief or a police chief?
The last we heard, the mayor told us that he put a questionnaire out. He's vetting the finalists, and we should know something soon. That's the only thing that I've heard so far. So it was a questionnaire given out to the finalists, and they're looking over them, and I think he is vetting or interviewing some of the finalists, and he told us that he would know soon. He wasn't here yesterday. I'm sorry, yesterday he wasn't here, so I didn't get a chance to ask him about that. Yes? Someone else? Well, I thought somebody had a hand.
If I could piggyback off of what Mr. Clark was asking, in terms of the police chief's position, as you know, in 2011, in November, Lewis Towers at that time was mayor. He made the appointment of Robert Fox. The board voted against it. It was in court for years. Well, it's still in court, if I'm not mistaken, according to what I saw. The mayor has the right to make any appointment, regardless of whether the board confirms it or not. Is that correct?
Let me explain that to you.
Thank you.
The mayor has the right to appoint positions that are, lack of a better word, that are not under contract. In other words, if you have a contract or you're at-will positions, he has the right to appoint at-will positions. If that position no longer becomes available or is eliminated, then quite naturally it's eliminated. But even if the board doesn't go along with it, which you stated that did happen with Mayor Towers, he still had the right to appoint that chief, and he did appoint that chief for every 30 days he can do that. We went into that and we found out that's what could be done. Only thing that you can't do in that case, and what happened at that particular time, we have to eliminate the position. That's the only thing. And then I think it kind of hurt a little bit, but we felt so adamant about what was going on that we had to do that. I hated to do that because, you know, you're taking away your frontline defense. But some things that has to be done, and that was one of them. But he does have the right to appoint all at-will positions. Even without, every 30 days, even without the consent of his board. Any other questions? Really? Okay. So I'm just wanting to say,
Trustee Burgess, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say one thing for the benefit of the residents that might not be here at board meetings. Shine has been canceled for this year.
oh, yes.
If you could please mention that.
Yes, Shine. Does anyone know about Shine, Gospel Shine, that we usually have every year? Usually have it right there on Sauk Trail, right across the street from Do It Best. That has been canceled for lack of participation. So it was supposed to happen, and I guess Reverend Hall didn't have enough people to get involved in it, so he canceled it. So it won't happen this year. So those are some of the things that we have to kind of look at. I don't know why, what was the logistics behind that, but I don't know. I do want to say a few things, and I always try to wait till the end to make a comment. But everyone has been out here for a while. I see a lot of people here. And this village, this is just me, I'm very passionate about it. Not because politics, because I have a vested interest. I pay taxes out here, try to raise my kids, and I want to stay out here. We're looking now at some things that we, as a village, need to address. As residents, you need to come out and ask questions. We just lost a major business here. Now, when we turn that corner to go east on Sauk Trail, all you have is a car lot and 2 empty businesses that were here for quite a while. At least that corner was lit up with someone there. We have to stop the bleeding. I don't know how, I don't have all the answers. Maybe someone out here has the answers, but we have to come together to do that, because if you don't have businesses or commercial, what else do you have in the village? We're not like Olympia Fields or Flossmoor, where the taxes are way up, and they don't need businesses because the people are paying for it. Because the taxpayers. Here we don't have that, we have a lot of transients. We have to do something. Complain, do something, get involved. We have to bring some businesses out here. We cannot sustain the way things are going on right now. You know, so I just wanted to make that statement that I would love more people to get involved, talk to your neighbors, ask those questions. Put the trustees, the mayor, your elected officials, put them on Front Street. Ask them, what is the plan? What are we going to do to try to enhance that? Because this is really, in 1 year, we lost 2 major businesses in 1 year. Right there on that corner in 1 year.
Why?
So, one of the reasons, it could be the owners of the building didn't want to be conducive, they didn't want to cooperate or whatever. That could be one of the things, I'm just bringing that up. But to lose a business that's been in here since I've been here, it was called Ace Hardware, but then it was still Do It Best, and they still did what they did. To lose that, and then Excellent used to be Larry D's, and used to be Round the Clock. Those two buildings are vacant now. I mean, that's like saying, you know, you get rid of everything. You don't want to be a ghost town. You pay your mortgage, you pay your taxes. You don't want to be, for what? We have a lot of transients now, people that are just here, ready, and they're gone. They don't care about the businesses, they're going to drive down the street anyway. But you got to keep the money here. Because if you don't, taxes will go up. I hope everybody understands that. If the businesses aren't there, and the services are still needed, somebody's got to pay their bill. And the taxes will have to go up. If your money, if your budget or whatever, your services are let's say $10 million, and you only collect $8 million, somebody's got to fill that gap of $2 million. So we have to be more proactive or something. We need to talk, and that's one thing I would love to do, talk to these owners. If you don't feel like you want to do business in the village anymore, fine, let us know, sell it to somebody, and we can bring somebody in here that wants to do something. But don't hold on to it and think that you have a business that's worth $5 million and you only have 1 tenant. So those are some of the things that we have to look at. We have to present our village in such a way where we can attract businesses. Because we cannot afford to cut services. We have too many already that are cut. We have one person on code. Can't afford, we need more people. We need more people. We have officers that we're not able to hire because we don't have the money. You already have a volunteer fire department. You definitely don't want a volunteer police department. There is no such thing. So I'm not preaching to you, I'm just saying these are some of the things we need to look at. And in the future, when you make those decisions, when you get out there, when you ask those questions, those are some of the questions that you should ask. Find out what it is that you plan on doing to make that happen. Again, I'd like to thank everybody. Okay, I was saying questions over. Who has the other one? Questions were down, but we'll see what this question is going to be.
The question is that we all need to ask ourselves, why do we not shop in town? Why do we not polarize these businesses? Look at yourself. That's the problem. Okay? If anybody comes here, if nobody goes and uses those businesses, they're just going to have to close up and leave.
Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to, it is not because of anything else, but I'm just going to say this probably the only time. She's 100% right. If you don't patronize your businesses, you will lose them. But you should demand that you get for your dollar what you're paying. In other words, if you're going to pay $1, get $1's worth. If you feel that you can't shop in that particular store, tell that manager that your food is not this, or the store needs to be cleaned up, or whatever it may be. If you tell them enough times, then they should get it. They should have gotten it already. They should have gotten it that they need to step up their game. But they haven't, so one thing you can do is, hopefully, you know, but it's going to be hard to bring Jewel in here if they have to turn that corner and come through everything. It's going to be hard to do that. So we have to be proactive. Yes, ma'am.
Even if it's a little bit more expensive because they have to charge more. It's worth it to you to save on your taxes to go to these businesses. Okay?
But we gotta hold their.
I didn't hear what you said. If your mic's not on.
I was in that store. Now, wait a minute. I was in the grocery store, picked up a bag of potatoes, brought it to the counter, and there were bugs in them.
Do you know why that is? Because nobody shops there.
Okay, I was trying to shop there, and
Yeah,
I
but
could bring them home.
But
They
they
have to be held accountable.
But all due fairness, if the store has that, you should complain. When, no, wait a minute, there's other places you can complain to. You can complain to the health department.
How much loss can be taken?
You can call the health department and say, I as a shopper came into XYZ store and this is what I found. They will investigate.
I still shop there. I
Oh,
buy
okay.
their produce. But I think they need to be held accountable.
Yes, they do. I mean, this is if you go somewhere else, you spend $1, you want $1 worth. You don't want 50 cents worth because you happen to be right at home. You're not going to let me give you 50 cents worth of whatever. If you want $100 worth of whatever, that's what you want your money's worth. And that's what we have to do. But we also have to have businesses here that people want to shop at. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to shop at the Beeper store. I don't need to shop at the Beeper store. I want to, but then again, you get what you pay for. Okay, and I'm hoping everyone is no more.
So to answer that question, our elected officials should represent us, so therefore, since the citizens are not going to the stores to complain, but you're hearing it, I think the elected officials should call that business in and say, ask them what is the problem, because they're representing Sauk Village. So,
Point well taken. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why I say you come to these meetings, you come to the board meeting, and you make those, because what you just told me, I'm going to go. I'm going to go up there to Fairway and say that a citizen came to me and told me this is what happened. You have my word on that. I'm going to do that. If I hear about something, I'm going to do that. Because I'm going to put them to let them know that someone has came and had at least had the foresight to let us know what's going on. Because I for one, I shop there, but selectively. And that's I'm just telling you, selectively. So, but it's a shame that you have a store here in the village that you can't, but there are other avenues. You don't have to go to your village official. You don't have to do that. There's other avenues you can go through. You got the health department, and just tell them. They'll come out, they'll check it out. Yes, Ms. Parker. You had your hand up. You had your hand up, Ms.
I
Parker.
wanted to ask you while you're there, but you shop there, but you answered it.
Yeah, I do. I shop selectively. I do shop there, but it's selective.
And also, you will have to appeal to your younger residents as well, because there are young families here. So
Absolutely. Every time, and you know something, I was used to be a young lady, and I respect that what you said. I wish we could get more young people involved. We're not going to be here forever. We're not going to be here forever. Get them, even though they are transients, I don't care. They still live here. They still use the services here. We need to let them, to get them to come out. I wish I knew the magic pill or whatever I could do to get them to come out. But they need to come out and get involved. Don't just, I'm sorry, it's just me. Don't just march all the time because of this, and this. This is your home. This is where you live. Come out and get involved. Don't wait until after something happens, then you come out. So I'm just hoping that we can get the youth out here. I try to talk to them at certain events that we have, and I did have a couple of town hall meetings where I got the youth involved, but they're not here yet.
it's a generational gap. Our mind frame is something totally different than what our older generation has. We don't see it as, oh, the place that we live is just there. We don't know the avenues to take in order to progress our livelihood forward. We only know go to work, go home. Go to work, go home. What else is out there?
And you're right, because when I was young, I did that same thing. I don't have time. I didn't get involved. I didn't have time. I don't know, maybe it's because you get older now, I got nothing to do. I don't know. But when I was younger, no, I come up here and do what? I mean, right. I mean, what am I going? What? Just everybody argue back and forth? No, I'm not going to come. I'm going to come up here. You're not going to do that. You're going to raise my taxes anyway. Even though I argue, that's what they look at. But if they get involved, they can help control. That's why I got involved, so I can be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, or sit back and say, okay, well, why don't they do this, and this? I ran for office so I can say, okay, this is what I have to offer. Why don't we try this? And I'm sure that's what everyone else that ran for office did the same thing, but you're right. We got to get the youth involved. This is going to be their village. This is what we're leaving to them. So it behooves them to get involved, those that feel like they're going to stay. those that feel like they're gonna make this a home, that's another thing we have to look at, but we have to make it conducive to where they want to stay. Linwood, they're still building over there. They're still building homes. We have to look at that. Okay, just want to say thanks a lot to you guys, and we're going to continue to have the town hall meetings. I just hope that next time when I say like 20 minutes to 8, you know, you get the questions in so we don't have to do it like we did before. Go another 20 minutes, because, oh, I forgot, but that's okay. Again, thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Be safe, be careful. See you next time.